Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Modern Mining. Today it's time to do our yearly maintenance that we do on our mining farm. So as you guys know, summer is fast approaching, and one of the biggest things that people struggle with when you're running this many computers in a small area is heat. Now, I have a pretty good setup, but it requires a little bit of work to do each year, so we're gonna knock that out today, and I'll explain just how my heating and cooling works so you guys can do something similar if you're having issues with heat. Let's get into it after a quick word from our sponsor. Are you looking for a more reliable mining pool, one that provides top-tier transparency, practical tools, and great stability? If so, today's sponsor, ViaBTC, might be right for you. ViaBTC is the perfect mining pool for DIY miners, small home miners, or even medium to large mining operations. There's a reason that ViaBTC is the top Dogecoin and Litecoin mining pool and a top 3 Bitcoin mining pool. The community has obviously decided to trust ViaBTC due to them being extremely consistent, secure, and having flexible payouts. They've operated for over 10 years with no security incidents. That's pretty impressive in the crypto space. ViaBTC just also upgraded their auto withdrawal process to switch between 2 payout modes: pay by account balance and pay by daily earnings. Check out my sign up link down below, and I'll also leave a link to their Telegram group. Thanks to ViaBTC, and let's get back to the video. So let's do a quick rundown of the basics for those who haven't seen my farm and don't really know what the proper way to cool a bunch of computer is, especially during the summer. So the first thing is that you do not want to spend essentially any electricity to cool your hardware, because then that's money that you're taking away from your profit at the end of the day. So the name of the game is, how can you keep your house cool while keeping your GPUs cool for the least amount of electricity? And I found a pretty good solution that I've seen many people do, and that is basically my rack that has fresh air being constantly pulled through it, and all that heat that's generated from, say, 5,000 watts of computers from my shelf right here, all of that gets sucked out of this fan. So for example, it is 81 degrees back here. And if we look up front again, it is 81 in here. So not a huge difference right now, but that's a good thing. That means that basically the GPUs are not any hotter than just ambient air, and 81 Fahrenheit is totally fine. So the big question here is, and where a lot of people go wrong, is this fan is pulling out heat, yes, but in order to replace that air that gets sucked out, there needs to be some sort of intake. And that's where being in a garage is super handy, because I have fresh air that's coming in from this window right here. So if I can really feel a ton of air being pulled through this window right now. So all that's being pulled through, getting cycled through my shelf, because I normally have this wall right here, and that in turn sucks all the heat out of the house. And this fan has been an absolute champion. This is a DC, I think it's called a barrel fan. The DC part is important because it uses extremely low watts. Right here, it's on almost the minimum. And I've checked it before, I don't have exact numbers, but it's using like 50 watts or less, which is literally pennies to cool down thousands of watts of electricity, which is crazy. And even better, I have it on a fan controller. I'll have this link down below as well, so that the fan runs until it hits 70, and then it has to heat back up to 74 degrees, and then the fan turns back on. So essentially, if it doesn't need to be ran, if it's not hot back here, then the fan turns off, and that saves even more electricity. But there's one issue here, is that that fan is likely pulling more air than can come in through this tiny little window. So today we're going to be removing all of these glass panels from my garage. This will be the 3rd year in a row that I've done that, and this will give us a ton of fresh air intake. And the main issue with just that one window is it's potentially pulling my AC'd air out of my upstairs of my house and out of the window, because it's basically finding all the cracks upstairs and pulling hot, fresh air into the house, which we don't want. Which is why I've got my entire duct system right here wrapped in plastic, so that any gaps in my AC'd air that goes through there are not getting pulled out the window there. Now, another thing we'll need to do is touch up a few spots here. Duct tape just ain't what it used to be. It's come down right here, but I think that might be our only gap. Everything else I think looks good. So we'll check that But that's the plan. First, we're gonna go ahead and take out these windows. And instead of just leaving the windows wide open, I like to put a screen over them, like almost like a filter, to kind of prevent some of the dust. So this right here is by far the most cost-efficient way you can do this. This is like screen printing material that I think people make shirts with. And this whole thing, which will be plenty for those 4 windows, I used to already have these pre-cut and I somehow lost them, but this whole thing's $12. And I've used this for years on end. You just clean it, blow it out when it gets too clogged, and it works fine. Last thing, just to build some hype, that spot is going to get filled with this beautiful 4090 that I just picked up today. About a 2-hour round trip, not too bad, $2,100. So actually this exact same that I just got this Asus one for. More expensive than I got my previous ones for, but honestly with the way things are going, I think computer hardware is going to go up before it goes down, so I was fine paying a little extra. I'm just waiting on RAM, and then we'll do that build video there. So, okay, let's measure our windows and cut our filter material first. Basically, I just unscrew all these screws, and then I actually take this little plastic, well, I don't know what you would call that, little frame piece, and then that's what I mount back on to hold the screen in place. Now, I want to make the screen a little bit bigger than the actual window opening, so I'm probably going to cut it, that might be slightly overkill, but like 17 inches tall, and then we'll do 17 by 44 should be fine, and we'll need to cut 4 of those. And then I got to unscrew like 50 screws. I don't know why these things have so many, but we'll do a nice time lapse. Let's lay this right on the floor, and then we will cut it with a razor blade. It's probably the easiest way to do it. Got some stragglers over here. So the size of the holes on this mesh it's called a 110 mesh. The lower the number, the bigger the holes. I wanted to get like 80 mesh, but I could not find that. It seemed like 110 was basically the lowest, but the lower I would say the better. So let's see, if this thing's 44 wide, it's gonna make it a lot easier. It's not. It is 49 wide. So, oops. So we'll just mark one piece, and then I can use that to cut the others. And then we wanted 17. These don't need to be exact since we're oversizing them. So I'll probably just cut one and then go from there. 17 is right here. And honestly, I'm just gonna cut down this whole sheet at my 44 mark. Okay. Maybe a tad short there, but that's all right. Should still be fine. Now, if you were to use like actual filters, AC filters or anything like that, this would be much, much more expensive. And really, you don't need to do that. I'll take the hoodie off here in a second. Okay, just like that, we've got 4 custom-made filters. Let's give them a quick test fit here. Perfect. Shake them off a little bit. Okay, windows are all out. Glass is set aside safely. No shattering yet. I'll be careful moving that somewhere safe. I can already feel so much more wind coming through these windows. So let me light this up. Basically, every single bit of these openings is giving us like 200 feet per minute worth of air. And our window is only doing like 59 now. So much less strain on this window, and it's all coming from here. Let's compare that number in a second once we get the filter up and see how much it restricts the airflow, but 196 to kind of 216 before we put the filters up. All right, I'm trying to remember the best way to do this. It's kind of annoying to get these in. I think I just hold it up on here and then just stick it in. Oh, I messed up. It's hard because the air blows through and kind of tries to mess it up as you put it in. Did it again. There we go. Perfect, and now I can kind of pull it where I need to, but otherwise, we're a little short on this side. Okay, that's perfect. So now we just start putting some screws in. It just punctures right through the netting and holds it just fine. Cool. That was easier than I remembered. There we go. All right, let's do the other three. And there we go. That is all wrapped up. Took less than 20 minutes, not too bad. Let's do another quick test. So we about cut the airspeed in half on these windows with the filter. Maybe not totally in half. And then this window should have bumped up based on that restriction. And it did, yeah. It looks like this is about at what the others were. So definitely would rather have them than not have them. And there you go, guys. That's how you cool down a mining farm for pennies on the dollar. Super cheap. Basically $12 for filters. That fan was $200, but it's lasted me many years at this point. And like I said, the fee to run it every single month is basically zero. So that's a well-spent $200. Let me know if you guys would do anything differently. I'm curious if you guys are doing anything in your farm that helps. The one kind of negative thing or risk point I see in mine is if that fan ever died, I don't have any alerts set up right now where like I would notice if that got super hot back there. So I think the GPUs and stuff would all turn off before anything happened. But that might be something I might look into, is getting like a temperature warning sensor that can ping my phone if that were to ever die, so I could go in and shut off my GPUs. But good seeing you guys. I'll catch you on the next one, and thank you as always for watching. Peace.